Hello and welcome. My name is Silverfish and today I'm going to teach you some basic editor controls in Overgrowth. When you load a level, you'll spawn as a character like this. In order to enter edit mode, you press 9 on the keyboard. And to go back into play mode, you can just press 8. When you are in editor mode, you can use W, A, S and D to move the camera around. If you hold Shift while pressing W or S, you'll move your camera up and down. If you hold left click and drag your mouse around, you'll move the camera around. And those are the basic controls for moving and manipulating the camera. To create an object, you click the Load Item button up under the Home tab. This will bring up your item browser, where you can select an object to load. So to load an object, you just click it, and then you click where you want to load the object. I'm going to load another object here right away. To select an object, you just double click it. You see the selection box. And then you double click where there is no object to deselect the object. You can also press left and right click at the same time to make a selection box and select several objects at once. If you hold Shift and double click an object, you can add or remove objects from a selection. If you don't hold Shift, you'll just select a new object. Holding Shift also works for using the selection box. And those are the basic controls for selecting objects. To manipulate an object, you first must select it, and then you can use E, R and T to go between the translate, rotate and scale tools. You can notice right next to my cursor there which tool I have selected. If you want to, you can also use the actual surface, the side of the object, to select what tool you want to use. So when I hold it in the middle here, you see I have the translate tool. If I pull it up towards the edge, I have the rotate tool. And if I hold my cursor at the corner, I have the scaling tool. I would encourage you to use the E, R and T keys though, because that allows you to manipulate your objects without having to have good mouse accuracy. So let's go through the translate tool first. If you just use left click with the translate tool, you'll move the object around. If you use right click, you'll move the object on just 2 axes. And if you hold right click while you hold Shift, you'll move it on just 1 axis. So you have left click, right click, and Shift plus right click. And then we have the rotate tool that you can get to on R. So hold R and then you use left click to rotate the object freely. If you use right click for this, you'll rotate the object on just 1 axis. And holding Shift and doing right click will not do anything special when using the rotate tool. So you have left click and you have right click with the rotate tool that you once again can find on R. And then we have the scaling tool that you can find on E. If you just use left click, you'll scale the object on all axes. If you hold right click, you'll scale it on 2 axes. And notice also that the corner over here stays in place so that I can scale it freely however I want. And then if you hold Shift, you can scale it on just 1 axis. So you hold Shift and right click to scale it on 1 axis. You hold just right click to scale it on 2 axes. And you use left click to scale it on all 3 axes. And then you can press delete while a object or more is selected to remove it. There are also some other keys you can use to make your map editing simpler. You can use Control while using any of these tools to make the object snap, as you can see right here. And this is very useful because you can also use Alt to duplicate an object while doing any of the transformations as well, as you can see. And this allows you to create a floor very quickly, for instance. So if you hold Control and Alt at the same time and use right click to move the object, you'll duplicate it. at regular intervals like this. And then you can select several objects at once and use Control and Alt, and I use right click with the transformation tool right here. And there we go, we have very quickly created a floor for our level. And those are the basic controls for manipulating objects and creating levels in Overgrowth. So I hope you're looking forward to the next tutorial, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye!